There's been several things going on with the Spurs in the offseason. It's time to touch base with the fans.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On Spurs and the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for KENS 5 San Antonio. Glad to have you back. Happy Monday, start of the work week right here on Locked On Spurs, and for you as well. So we'll get you started on the right foot as you go back to work, whether you're in person or still remote. What are we talking about today? It's another fan episode. We're going to be diving into what fans are thinking about Keldon Johnson being the man now. He did get paid. And what are fans thinking about DeJounte Murray? Specifically, are fans going to boo him when he gets to San Antonio next season for his only visit as a Hawk? And much, much more, including a very important message that our fan guest has to share with Spurs fans like yourself tuning in. And by the way, before we dive in, thanks for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. Free and available wherever you get podcasts. Who is helping me and repping the Spurs fan base today? He is back, everybody. He is Ray Carter. He's, what is this? How many time for you? Third time here on Locked On Spurs for you, Ray?
I think this is actually my second.
Your second? Okay. Well, maybe we'll get you a third down the road. But welcome back to Locked On Spurs. How you been?
Doing pretty good. Pretty
good. All right. Well, again, Ray will be talking to you, taking the mic later on in the show, talking about a situation that he hopes that everybody can pitch in. But before we do that, we got to dive into some Spurs talk, Ray. Look, it's been a while since we had a fan episode, so it's a good time to catch up with the fan base. So let's start off with Keldon Johnson. So he got paid. He got paid a lot. He's the highest paid Spur right now. $80 million, 4 years. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And there's no DeJounte Murray anymore. He's gone. So all eyes are on KJ to be that face, to be the man. Let's get your opinion first, and then we'll get the fan overall thoughts. What are your opinion about KJ being the guy, being the man? Do you personally think he's ready for that role, or are you going to be kind of pumping the brakes a bit and kind of see where he's at as the season progresses?
I think he's ready for that role. I really like the move. I've met KJ myself, and he's a really cool person. But I think he's ready. I was going through some stats just last night, and he was actually right behind Murray in scoring. So I think that's a big part of him stepping up, because once Murray wasn't on there, he was like a good number 2 option when Murray was out. He's a great leader, man, for this team, in my opinion. I think he could actually lead this team to the direction that this new Spurs team is heading.
I don't mean to cut you off there, though, but you brought up the stat about him being the second leading scorer with Murray. But Murray, was a good facilitator. Do you think that's going to impact Keldon Johnson next year?
Maybe, actually. I believe so. But, Keldon, he has a ton of potential. This is coming off his best season so far. And, he's been in the system, a little bit longer than some of these other players, well, except the vets. But then again, they're just coming into this system. Keldon's been here. He's actually the only Spur from the 2019 draft class still here. And, he spent some time with Pop in the Olympics, so he has more time to grow in the system, to be what DJ did, or to do what DJ did.
But, one thing we've noticed with Keldon is that he's very emotional, and we get that in a good way. He's excited. He pumps his fist. He screams. We all know he can yell. But we'll get your thoughts, your last thought on this, and we'll get to the fans in a bit. But what about him being a vocal leader? Do you think fans, and do you think you can see him being that vocal leader, or do you think he's going to lead in a different way? Maybe just lead by example.
I think he could be vocal. I think, if I'm wrong, I know Vassell was vocal at one point. I think Keldon was at one point too. This isn't, he's not the type of person that's just going to sit back. He will tell you how it is, in my opinion. I I think he's a good leader. He's gonna tell you how it is. He's gonna own up to his mistakes, and he's gonna try to do better than what he did.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna lead.
Mm-hmm.
That's not.
All right, let's transition to the fans now. Now, you're on social media. You interact with Spurs fans. What are Spurs fans thinking about KJ just being the face? Do you think Spurs fans are saying, "Yeah, it's time for him. Let him shine," or is there a segment of Spurs fans that still believe this team doesn't have a face? That yeah, Keldon maybe he's getting paid, but he's not it though.
I've been seeing a bit of both. I remember when they first signed him, the people I follow, they were all happy about it. Obviously I was too, but they liked the move. They felt like it's a good step in the next direction that the Spurs want to go into. I've seen some other people, they like the move, but they just don't feel that he's that guy yet, which is understandable. He still has room for improvement. There was some stuff he did last season that wasn't his best. Just I don't know. I feel like he's the next guy for us.
Mm-hmm. And what about Spurs fans' thoughts as far as him being a vocal leader? Do you think that Spurs fans are seeing that from him, or could see that from him, or do you think again they're just more like because I'm of the opinion that this team doesn't really have a face yet of the franchise. Yeah, I think by
Hmm.
default, Keldon is that guy, but it just feels. I'll digress a little bit. It just feels like, from my point of view, the overall fan base is still thinking that this team, yeah, or in this case, Keldon, it's still kind of, let's see what he can do next season, because I thought last season he was going to really make a big jump, but Dejounte did that. Not to say that Keldon had a bad season; he had a really good season,
Yeah.
but I was expecting like a vault, like like a pole vault into a different level. Do you think Spurs fans feel that he's going to make a big jump next season, or do you think Spurs fans are going to think he's just going to take a moderate jump?
Oh, I think he's gonna take a big jump. That's for sure. I I remember when the season started. Obviously, Keldon wasn't good from the three, and then as the season went along, he improved. And then I was reading too that during I think the All-Star break, or during the stretch of that, he was averaging like 20 a game or so, if I read correctly.
Mm-hmm. You're
So
right.
he has room to make that big jump. I do believe he can do it. Now I know he's probably taking this time in the offseason to improve that, to because how, in my opinion, like I said, he's gonna be the man. So he's gonna have a little bit more on him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe he could take that jump. I think he's ready for it.
What areas do you think he will take a jump in? And what areas do you think Spurs fans are also thinking that Keldon is going to make a big leap in? Is it points? Is it something different? Is it him being a facilitator, or maybe a better rebounder? Where do you see him getting better?
I could see him getting better with the points and the facilitating. You know,
Hmm.
I could see him going there. Maybe some boards too. But like I said, he's an all out guy. He knows he could do better, and I
Hmm.
know he loves to do that. So, like I said, honestly, he could do anything for improvement. Defensively, he can improve a little bit too.
Hmm.
I think he had his highest in blocks this season, if not last season, than he did this
Right.
year.
Hmm.
So like I said, he's barely 22. I think Spurs fans think he's older. Probably I'm wrong on that, but
Hmm.
he still needs a little time. He's getting
Hmm.
to that point of being that main guy, but just give him a little bit, like a year, and
Hmm.
he could be what Dejounte did, and whatnot.
Do you think he has all star in his future, or is that still too tough to tell, considering now he's going to be put in the forefront now that Dejounte's gone.
I do believe he can be an all star. There's some Spurs on here like Vassell. I do believe he can be an all star too. Primo, he could get to that all star point. Obviously what he did in summer league. You know, with that. Oh, I forget what game it was, but he went off.
Yeah, it
This
was the first summer league game.
yeah. So like this team has potential to be all stars, but like I said, they're still young. They're still trying to do the best, but I do believe Keldon can be an all star.
Mm, and a scale of 1 through 10, 10 being the highest.
Scale one.
Where would you, well, yeah, 1 through 10, a scale of 1 through 10, with 10 being the highest. How much expectations do you think Spurs fans have sorry, let's say DeJounte, for Keldon to really up his game? Is it at a 10? Like he better, be a walking double guy, or you think it's more like a 5 or a 6, saying like, okay, let's just see what the kid has. Where would you gauge that?
I'll probably like say a 6, just because
Hmm.
obviously Spurs fans want Victor when one Banyama. I hope I said his name
Yeah,
right.
you did.
So I think that they're more focused on that aspect of figuring out who they want for if they could get him in the draft. Because obviously they know it's tank. So
Hmm.
I don't think they're going to pay attention as much. I'm not saying that they're not completely, but just okay, Keldon had a good night. Oh, okay. Or Vassell went off. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's just how I see it. They'll still like what they're doing, but I think their main focus is trying to figure out how they can get that number one pick for Victor.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's obvious what the Spurs are doing, and look, KJ, he's been open about it. He said he reads the signs, he sees the writing on the wall that it is going to be perhaps a lean season with the team rebuilding, as they say. But hey, he's on board, and he extended out his contract with the Spurs. So as of right now, he's here for the long haul. We thought DeJounte was too when he signed his extension, but now he's
Yeah,
gone. When we get when we get back, we're gonna be discussing DeJounte Murray now and Spurs fans. I know we talked about this on last week's Friday episode of Locked On Spurs, but we didn't hear the fan perspective. So we're gonna be talking to Ray about this on this fan episode of Locked On Spurs. Yeah. If you haven't tried the Built Bar Puffs yet, you're depriving yourself of one of life's greatest joys. And guess what? There's a new flavor. Ready? Delicious, indulgent cookie dough covered in 100% chocolate. That's right. Built has done it again. Let me introduce you to your new favorite cookie dough chunk puffs. They have a light and chewy texture, real cookie dough chunks, and of course, they're covered in 100% chocolate. All of the joys of eating cookie dough without the hassle of making it, and it's healthy for you. Cookie dough chunk puffs are only 160 calories, and they have a whopping 15 grams of protein in them, healthy for you as well. Run to built.com, snag your box right now for you, for the family. It's a perfect treat. Or you can really find a good hiding place and just hoard it for yourselves. Either way, go built.com right now. Like all Built bars, the new cookie dough chunk puff is covered in 100% real chocolate. That means they're healthy and tasty chocolate covered cookie dough with a light, fluffy texture. So good. And what's great about it is that Built is, well, all their bars are made with 100% collagen protein, which absorbs into your body faster, more efficiently, provides a ton of health benefits. Eat something that tastes good and is good for you. You're going to love the new cookie dough chunk puff, whether you need a snack for your workout, a late night treat, or just need to grab a quick bite. Built is the perfect protein bar. They taste better than a candy bar. Ditch the calories, fat, sugar. Get yourself a Built bar. Go to built.com right now. Use promo code LOCK15 for 15% off your order. Promo code LOCK15. We're back with Ray Carter right here on this fan episode of Locked On Spurs, and we're about to dive into a very touchy subject, something that's really been getting under Spurs fans' collective skin, and that is DeJounte Murray. Look, Ray, DeJounte seemingly is a little bit more boisterous this offseason, is a little bit more, as he would say, free. And I think the most recent incident was that little beef he had with Banchero,
yeah,
and they went to a pro-am game, and look, DeJounte is just, hooping, and, he's talking some smack, and it spilled over into social media between the two, exchanging IG messages. But the point is that a lot of Spurs fans are of the opinion that this ain't DeJounte. Where was this DeJounte in San Antonio? Oh, he's gone now. and look what he's doing now. But
Yeah.
there's also some more. There's just more background too. There was those social media messages. He took shots at the Spurs, saying, "Hey, it's going to take this team decades or 15 years, I think he said, to
Yeah.
get back on top. Things are bigger. Their issues are bigger than basketball in San Antonio." Which it kind of leads to this question, though, Ray. And I'm glad you're here. Let's start off with you, and then we'll get the fan perspective.
Okay.
So fans are a little sour on DeJounte, and he will make his visit next season to San Antonio just one time as a Hawk.
Oh, wow.
If you, Ray Carter, are at that game, will you be cheering for DeJounte?
I probably won't. If you asked me at the time the Spurs traded him, I was one of those people that was upset about the move, I'll admit. But then seeing those tweets saying, "Oh, I'm free and I feel wanted," and him saying, "We're Spurs are gonna lose for 15 years," yeah, you kind of lost my respect on that. So I'm not gonna cheer for him. I liked him as a player, but I heard there was instances where he did similar stuff, and so I'm sorry, but he lost my respect after that. After those
Wow.
tweets and those messages, yeah.
Do you own a Murray jersey?
I don't. I was thinking about getting one too.
but you look at Murray and look, he as far as that Banchero incident, it was between him and Banchero, wasn't at the Spurs.
Yeah.
It was just him beefing. It was him, calling out a Magic player, not a Spur player.
Yeah.
So when I saw that incident, I'm like, okay, that has nothing to do with the Spurs. As a matter of fact, moving on, he has nothing unless he does another social media shot at the Spurs. But outside of that, like he's Atlanta's issue now. He's Atlanta's player. He's not the San Antonio Spur.
Yeah.
But do you think Spurs fans will be booing or cheering for Murray when he makes his return next season?
I'd say like excuse me, a good amount would boo him. I'm still seeing some Spurs fans that like him, but I'm pretty sure most of that arena is going to be booing him.
Wow. Well, see, what do you think about 50-50 or maybe 60-40? How do you see the split?
Like maybe 90-10.
90% booing or 90% cheering?
90% booing.
Wow, Ray, really?
I really do believe so.
Wow.
Like you saw how Lonnie said goodbye. Like that was a proper and a nice way, and that's the kind of goodbye you would want from DeJounte. And to even have you post under a troll saying you're gonna lose on your own post to San Antonio, like come on, man.
Dang, Ray. I don't think it'll be 90-10. I think it'll be closer to 50-50. I think it'll be that 50, cheers and 50% booze. But I think he's gonna get the tribute video. I know that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
He practically got one already when he left. The Spurs put something out on social media.
Yeah.
Look, if they're gonna give one to Kawhi Leonard, they're gonna give one to DeJounte Murray.
Oh, for sure.
But there is the argument that maybe he shouldn't be booed. And I'll get your thoughts on this, because at least he told the Spurs he was not going to re-sign his extension. Doesn't mean he was not going to re-sign in San Antonio. He just said, I'm not going to sign the extension. But nevertheless, he gave the Spurs that kind of a heads up. So they were able to make a trade to get some value in return. Don't you think that is something to consider if you're going to boo him or cheer for him next season?
That's tough. I want to say yes, just because you brought up the Kawhi. He wasn't like Kawhi. I'll admit that. He didn't force his way. He didn't get anybody else involved. He asked. I'll give him that. But I don't like that. Changes my mind on things, but not really, because those I feel free and want. Like I don't know. It just sounds like he was taking shots at the Spurs, and to say that thank you for San Antonio for his time. We did help him. Or Spurs helped him, and this fan base loved him at the time. But seeing those stuff now, it's like, well, do I like you now
Hmm.
if you're taking shots at the team and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
going to say, no, I wasn't? Well, if you said Spurs were going to lose in 15 years, what other Spurs were you talking about then? You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, mm,
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I know I'm looking forward to that. I hope I get to go to that game to cover it. I really want to see the reaction. We know at the we're gonna see all over in every outlet. Oh, Murray makes his return. Will he get booed? That is coming, and we're gonna
yeah,
brace for it. But you're probably gonna get onslaughted by it, everybody. So it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I really think it's 50-50. I think I think you're right. I think the whole 15-year thing, bigger in basketball, things are broken in San Antonio. I think that is going that kind of tipped it over there. And
right.
then everything else, the way he's acting, at least in the eyes of Spurs fans, how they don't approve. It's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. It just, especially with that Bonchero thing, Spurs fans really had an opinion about it.
Yeah.
Really had an opinion about it. Um, this ain't DeJounte, the memes are coming out where it's like nice guy Murray in San Antonio, then evil guy in in Atlanta. But it is hilarious to see. Like at the end of the day, as long as the Spurs fans keep it respectful, and cheer or boo for him next season, it's all gonna be fun. But we are not done talking about your San Antonio Spurs. When we get back, we're gonna turn the mic over to Ray here. He has a message for Spurs fans. He's seeking a little help. And just I'm gonna ask him one more Spurs related question though before he dives into what he has to say. So we'll be right back. We're back with Ray Carter right here on this fan episode of Locked On Spurs. We're discussing all things silver and black. Hey, Ray, I want to get your opinion real fast on something.
Yeah.
And what did you think about what Jakob Pertl had to say about his future in San Antonio, saying that he believes that he will be in San Antonio for the full season 22-23, but afterwards he's going to reassess if he wants to stay in San Antonio. What do you think about Jakob's situation?
I could actually see that, just
Hmm.
because we need a young center. We got Collins, but I think he plays the power forward. I
Hmm.
want to say he plays center too. I'm probably right or wrong on that. Well, Collins, I don't, I don't want him as the center. Uh, Dang, uh, Dang, I don't know if he plays center. I'm probably lacking on position. So if that's the case, I,
Hmm.
I really don't want him either at the center. Jakob,
Hmm.
he's been with this team a little bit longer. He's known the system. Just let him take the season, and after that, lose him. Just because,
Hmm.
well, it's not like it's, oh my gosh, we're losing Jakob. He was a good, solid player for us. Just give us the season and let him have the season. And after that, let him walk or decide to keep him.
Hmm. All right. Well, yeah. In case you didn't hear, everybody, Jakob Pertl had some things to say to Austrian media about his future in San Antonio. Look, he does make it very clear he likes San Antonio, he likes the city, he likes the fans, he likes his teammates. That he's comfortable in San Antonio. That, in his opinion, he believes he will finish out the entire season. Afterwards, he is a free agent. This is a contract year for Pertl, so yeah, he's going to have to prove his worth, whether it's to stay in San Antonio, get a pay raise, or go elsewhere and get a pay raise.
Right.
He's on the cheap. He's still young. Teams have been chasing him for the last 2 years. So Ray, I'm of the opinion of trade him, get some value back now. Because if he says he might walk after this season and leaving the Spurs empty-handed, yeah, I think that's the worst position for the Spurs to be in this rebuild. So if you're going to rebuild, go full forward, and if you can swing a deal for Yaka for some first round picks, I think you do it. Personally, I think they should hold out until the trade deadline because that's when teams get
Yeah.
desperate, especially the power teams. Maybe they might throw a nice little bag at the Spurs. But there's one thing I like about Locked On Spurs and these fan episodes is that it gives the Spurs fans a chance to talk with the Spurs community. It gives the Spurs fans a chance to take my microphone and talk about things that they want to discuss about. And there's a saying, oh, use your platform for good. Well, I'm going to do that right now. Ray has been going through some family issues slash housing issues in San Antonio, and he's already made it public. So it's not like I'm calling him out right now. He's already put it out there on social media that his family and is going through some housing issues, and he's asking for help. So, Ray, go ahead and take the mic. Tell everybody what's going on. How is this impacting you, and where, if Spurs fans want to help you out, where can they help you out? So, go ahead, Ray. Take us through your story.
Alrighty. So it's been a crazy summer for me and my family. The start of June, we were, quote homeless unquote, but we didn't have a place to call our own, so we were living with some friends. During that time, we were waiting for an apartment, and we finally got it, thankfully, by the end of June, early July, I want to say. And we come over here to move in, but the main issue was there was mold in the boards in the kitchen area, and the smell hits you as soon as you come in. And we've been complaining about it for quite some time, actually. And the maintenance here in the front office, all they did was spray bleach and then said, "Oh, okay, it's done." It actually wasn't done. It actually exposed more mold within the walls. Like, to tell you that to this day we're still smelling that smell. And we had housing come over and do some inspections on it. The first time, they gave the front office and all that 20 days to come fix it. During that time, they did not come over and fix anything. Heck, even one time maintenance tried to come in, like without even a proper way. Just put the key in and try to open the door. The second time, a lady came and she inspected and she final failed us. What she didn't tell us was that we had until the end of September to move out. So my mom panicked and filed a form to avoid the move. Or she filed a form to move out. She then went to housing and they told her you can move out until the end of September, but she got a form to void it. The manager in the front is not going to sign it. And when we went to housing and tell them that, they said, "Oh, well, since she's not going to sign it, you have to move out by the end of this month." The lady said we can either stay with friends, family, or they don't know. And the fact is, we have none of those right now. We can't move in with anybody. So we're trying to put our story out, to on this platform, to other platforms. We're getting in touch with almost everybody that we can. And if you could share this, on your personal page or even to in person, that sounded weird, but to just share it in general, that would be nice. There's a GoFundMe page on my Twitter page. There's a GoFundMe on my Twitter page and my Instagram page.
You want to give out your Twitter and Instagram handles right now?
My Twitter is RREYVING, and it's the same on Instagram. Go
ahead and repeat it one more time.
Okay. My Twitter and Instagram handle are RREYVING. There's a GoFundMe link in my bio for both of the pages. Anything helps, just, like I said, anything helps. It's hard because I have so much I want to say regarding the situation. Just, there's been a lot of bad stuff within here that I've stayed here, and this is a complex. I've lived here with my family for 14 years, and we've only had, situations close to this for 2 apartments that the front office or housing didn't do. There's one instance where they even, the front office got mad at us for complaining about somebody because they just took the other person's word that we were complaining about.
Mhm.
So, it's a horrible situation. My mom's and we're trying to fight it so that nobody has to go through this. So if they somehow got somebody lined up already for this apartment, we're trying to make sure that that person doesn't have to go what we're going through with the mold or this horribleness here at the apartments we're at.
Well, there you have it. Ray Carter asking for Spurs fans to help, or just anybody who's listening in right now. He gave you his Twitter handle. I'll repeat it for him. It's at RREYVING, Art Raving. Yeah, there we go. Raving. So give him a follow or just click the link. Every little bit helps. $10, $100, $20. Just give him a hand. And yeah, help out a fellow Spurs fan who loves the silver and black just as much as you do. And he's just asking for help. Take a lot of courage for him to come on publicly and talk about his situation. But nevertheless, good on you, Ray, for doing what you have to do to help your family. Hopefully Spurs fans can help you as well. So again, that's at RREYVING on Twitter. And then from there, you'll get the link on his profile. Ray, thanks for hopping on Locked On Spurs, talking about the Spurs and the fans and where they stand on a couple of topics. By the way, are you going to get any of the new look jerseys? The SATX jersey? We were talking about jersey earlier with Murray. The new OG, the OABA one?
The OGs, yes. The SATX, I don't think so.
The Spurs marketing people probably don't want to hear that right now. If you're thinking about that, they might be thinking like, "Oh man, we might have some low sales." But yeah, we're done talking. We want to hear from you. What do you have to say about Keldon Johnson being the man in San Antonio? Is he ready for it? And your thoughts? Will you be booing or cheering for DeJounte Murray on when he makes his return next season? Be sure to subscribe to Locked On Spurs wherever you get your favorite podcast: Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, Kens 5 Plus, and Kens 5 YouTube page. And we thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. For a second listen, check out Locked On NBA. Basically 30 minutes of all the NBA news you need in just one podcast. So subscribe to that as well. Ray, thanks for coming on Locked On Spurs. So for Ray Carter, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this fan episode of Locked On Spurs.